Okay, so it used to be like 100% unhealthy, right? So now I'm at half of the day. So it's been like working out actually, and I've noticed the scale moving, so that makes me really happy. Because I want to just like start super slow. Like people gain weight in the Novembers and the Decembers, and I want to be the one not to. I want to be the one to like lose a little bit.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about co-host Amberlynn Reid, as well as some updates as to everything that's been going on, but also, more importantly to me, some updates about weight loss or lack thereof. So the video that we're going to be focusing on today is from the YouTube channel Apathetic Facts. I feel that they do a pretty good job kind of chronicling everything that's going on in the Amberverse, ALR, girl world stuff, and it just makes it much easier to just kind of talk about everything instead of, you know, sitting through 4-hour live streams at a time. So appreciate this channel for what they do and the service they provide, because it makes it much easier to talk about everything that's going on. But this video, the main focus was a live stream that Amberlynn did, which was, a lot of it was also in response to some leaked information that it seems that another YouTube channel, Charlie Gold, who we've actually had on the channel a few years ago, long time ago now, talking about her journey, but she does videos talking about Amberlynn and the, girl world as well. But she got these leaked DMs that were, I think that they were voice notes that were sent to Rachel, who is another reaction channel who, we talked about in the last video quite a bit, where they got Tommy, I'll just say Tommy, who is Amberlynn's ex, maybe not, I don't know, there's a lot of speculation, but currently we're being told that they are no longer together, but ex-partner, and they shared some kind of not great information in these voice memos, and these voice memos have now been kind of leaked, and so Amberlynn is kind of responding to that in this live stream that this video is mainly about. But I did want to play the audio of this voice note, just so you guys can kind of see what Amberlynn was talking about. Really quick, I just want to say thank you to the sponsor of this video, me. I had a ton of you guys say that I should make some Popular Idiot merch, so we did that. These go up to a 4XL. It says Popular Idiot, and then it says Girl World with the little knuckles, so if you want to check that out, it goes up to a 4XL. And then if you are not as interested in something that says Popular Idiot so obvious, I also put it in this metal font, so I promise it says Popular Idiot. I made it myself, but it's not super obvious, so you're not wearing a shirt that says idiot on the shirt if you don't want to do that. For all of you guys that were asking for it, I went ahead and made it. But then again, there's still tons of other stuff as well. If you want to check it out, there's tons of other, this says Girl World, these shirts, Obese to Beast stuff. So there's tons of other stuff as well if you want to check it out. But thank you to the sponsor, me, for this video, your favorite Popular Idiot. Let's get back into the video.
She's the most important thing in my life. And also, like, that bothered Amberlynn too.
So what she was talking about there was her past, I think, wife that had passed away. So she's mentioning that, which apparently she says that bothered Amberlynn because that person was so important to Tommy.
And I could have totally gone below the belt. Like I said, like you said, I could have released the video. I could have embarrassed the fuck out of her. And, like, Snowflake was asking me about, like, questions.
So Snowflake is a pretty prevalent reaction channel, or channel that talks about Amberlynn, and they had done, I think, an interview in the past where Emily or Tommy went over and talked about this stuff with Amberlynn. I just find it to be weird personally how often this is just very interesting to me. I don't know if other people maybe have answers. I have my own thoughts, but how many people that Amberlynn have been with are so willing to come out publicly and speak against her. That is not normal, right? That is, regardless of if you think that they should be doing this or you're glad that they're doing it because you're getting some of the tea, which I fully understand, I get it. But that is weird, right? That there are so many people that were in a relationship with Amberlynn Reid, now they're not, and then they are willing to come out and speak against her, regardless of if you think they should or not. That is strange, because I would obviously hope that none of my exes would ever do that. I've never had that experience, but it seems to be such a common thing with Amberlynn, right?
Go to Hygiene, and I could have gone there, but I'm like, I don't want. I'm like, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not doing that. I'm not stooping to her level. And she didn't shower very often.
What is icky about this to me is that, from what I understand, it was kind of known that when Emily or Tommy was making this voice note, sending this to the person they were sending it to, it was under the impression and the knowledge that this was going to be put into a video. Maybe not the parts, because she says, like, you know, don't use that part, but like all of this information is going to be put into a video talking about the person that you claim to love, right? I think that's just, again, I think everyone in this situation has been not the best, in my opinion.
Like, it got less and less and less. Don't share that part, though. And, like, she didn't ever wash her hands after going to the bathroom, but she used the fucking washcloth bullshit. And, like, I got pissed because, like, this is between us. I'm like, I'm gonna...
So that's bizarre to say this is between us when you are, from what I understand, maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are talking to a YouTube channel, someone that runs a YouTube channel that is basically entirely devoted to Amberlynn Reid and exposing her and basically making her look not the greatest, right? And so I just don't understand the logic that goes through someone's head in, oh, I'm going to share these very intimate details, but like, don't say that, because I don't want to embarrass them. If, in my opinion, if you truly didn't want to embarrass this person, you would not ever reach out to any of these channels that exist, myself included, right? Any of these channels that actively speak against the person that you claim to either love now or love in the past and whatever, right? Like, that is so bizarre to do something like this and then claim, like, I didn't want anything bad to happen. The easiest thing to avoid anything bad happening would be, in my opinion, to not talk to these channels, right?
Put this bottle of spray bleach next to the counter, and I want you to clean up after yourself after you use it, because I'm like, germs, you know, that's gross.
So it seems that hygiene, which we're going to get into later, is a big kind of part of this, you know, this voice note. And that's obviously been a very big part of Amberlynn in the past, and currently is the lack of hygiene. A lot of the ex-partners have said those things, and Amberlynn always kind of says that those things aren't true, right?
And she was like so upset and offended by it. I'm like, what? Like, that's just being respectful to, like, others in your household. You know what I mean?
I definitely feel that, right? Like, and the sad truth is, once you get to a certain size, those basic hygiene things become very difficult, right? We've all heard about the things that you need to use to wipe yourself once you're larger. I luckily never got to that point, but I was very close, and like there are things that I had to do when I was heavier to be able to take care of my hygiene that thankfully I don't have to do anymore. But honestly, like, it's things that became so ingrained into me because I was bigger my whole life that, like, I probably do things a little weird compared to someone that never was the size that I was. And I was thinking about that. And so I imagine once you get to the size that Amberlynn is, especially with the lack of mobility that she has, as respectively as I can say that, right? I'm sure that there are some issues there, and it seems to be that this has been, you know, reported with a lot of the exes that she has had. So I think that it seems to be that this is probably going on. Now, obviously, I understand Amberlynn being very embarrassed by this, but she definitely leans into it, which we're going to get into here in a second.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with me. Why
I wanted to keep it civil while she...
Okay, so this is, now we're going to get into this live stream, right? So this clip is not super necessary. I don't really want to go over this, but I want to go over this live stream that she ended up doing. And in this live stream, so this one right here, she titled the live stream, "I Have Never Showered," right? And so she is obviously like playing into the whole bit. And so it would be one thing if she was like completely trying to separate herself and not try and mention it, but Amberlynn is all like, she is the kind of the main character in this whole thing. And she also, you know, she gets the most out of it, I think, because by playing into the drama, by playing into that, by titling the live stream that she knows that is going to entice people to go to her channel and watch this live stream. And if they want to say anything, they have to become a member. So they have to pay money to become a member, which is completely her prerogative. She is allowed to do that. I'm not saying how dare she do that, but she is not completely innocent. Obviously, she's not completely innocent in this, and she definitely plays into it quite a bit. So here is her kind of talking about that whole thing.
Who is Paige? Who is Paige? What's with the title? I'm surprised no one. I forgot what my title was. I've been on here for 15 minutes and no one's asked about the title, and then I forgot what it was. I don't know. I'm just trolling.
So again, she is aware of the situation and she plays into it, right? She is just trolling. And I think, honestly, I do think that part of that is her trying to take back as much power as she possibly can because, especially with her life online, a lot of it has been not the greatest. And I'm sure it seems like she is someone that likes to control narratives a lot, especially in all the relationships that we've seen, all the previous partners. They've always kind of talked about, the controlling aspect of it. And so I'm sure that this is a way for her to try and take back some of that control by being like, I'm going to play into the joke by saying I've never showered, right? I'm sure that that's part of it.
I'm just trolling. How's your blood pressure? It's been normal, completely normal. What is the title? I've never showered before. I've never showered before. I don't know what a shower is. I've never even heard of that. And I understand, I come on here and my hair be looking like in the craziest bun you've ever seen in your life, but I literally just got out of the shower. I've shown my bonnet before. So messy, day 3 hair does not mean Amberlynn doesn't shower. It just means Amberlynn only washes her hair once every 3 to 4 days. I've explained this. That's why my hair is long. That's why my hair is pretty, in my opinion.
This next part that I want to talk about is finally Amberlynn kind of mentioning her weight and diet situation type deal that we have going on. Obviously, with everything that's been going on, one, Amberlynn kind of disappearing from YouTube, right? She's still obviously making these live streams, but her, disappearing from doing day in the life videos and what I'm eating in a day and weigh-in videos. That's kind of, it's almost like the whole weight thing has taken such a back seat compared to everything else that we've talked about. But obviously, with my channel, the thing that I started with trying to focus on was Amberlynn's weight. And that's still the thing that's the most important because I think it should be the most important thing to Amberlynn. And that's where it's just so clear that it is completely being lost in all of this drama that is going on. And I personally believe that there is an aspect of Amberlynn that likes when certain kind of drama goes on because it allows her to not focus on the weight stuff as much, which in turn makes it so she's not having a bunch of people question her about, why are you eating this? Why aren't you doing this? And that probably feels pretty good, not having all of these eyes on that specific thing because they're kind of focused on this other thing. But she finally is talking about her weight a little bit here. So let's get into that.
Appreciate that. Will there be a weigh-in before Vlogmas? Nah. Well, tomorrow's actually Sunday, so it's grocery day. I've been cooking more at home. My go-tos lately, okay. I'm trying to work on it. No, I saw your brother. Okay, you're weird, princess. No offense. Weird. Okay. The first half of the day, I'm like, yes, cooking. Yes, I'm being healthy. And then at night, I'm like, oh, ice cream. There's this one called Boozy Eggnog. Oh my God.
So it sounds like she's kind of falling into the trap that a lot of people fall into, which is, cooking or eating relatively healthy during the day and then kind of falling off at night. And I personally believe that a big part of that with Amberlynn is she likes to partake in different substances that kind of make her a little bit, a little bit high, I guess you could say. I know that she was doing THC stuff and then she was doing Delta 8 stuff. But I think that, again, you can use those things. I'm not here saying that you can't use those. But what I am saying is if your weight is a problem and you are noticing that you are partaking in those things and then you are allowing yourself to snack and you are allowing yourself to kind of, a lot of times those things allow you to just kind of lower your inhibitions and just be like, oh, whatever, I'm going to have this because you're better at talking yourself into stuff, right? And I think that that's a really big problem that Amberlynn has, is that she takes these things, whatever they might be, and they lower her ambitions, and then she ends up just making decisions that she isn't going to be proud of tomorrow morning. And that's that would be my recommendation for really anybody, but for Amberlynn as well, is to try and think about your future self and what would your future self be proud about? What decision now would you be happy with in the future? And I think for her, a lot of that would probably be, in my opinion, maybe cutting back on those different things that she likes to partake in, and just being like, I'm not going to let the earlier day wins affect the later day hopefully wins, right? So a lot of times what people do is they feel so good about what they did earlier, and they almost want to reward themselves with XYZ thing, which in turn almost negates the progress that they had made earlier in the day. And so you have to think about each day, the full day. Don't think about the first half of the day and the second half of the day, because then you allow yourself to make those quote unquote mistakes. And then you're taking 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward. And then a year goes by and you're like, well, I haven't lost any weight, or I've gained, even if it's only 5 pounds, right? That's something that you hear a lot with people that are in Amberlynn's position, that are as large as she is now, and especially they have gained a lot of weight over the years, is they celebrate the fact that they haven't gained that much weight, right? I've only gained 10 pounds this year, and I had a year where I gained 70 pounds, right? Yes, I guess that's better than gaining 70 pounds, but also it's still nowhere near what you should be doing, right? Especially someone Amberlynn's size, respectfully. If she really hunkered down, focused, and really took this seriously, you can lose a significant amount of weight in a relatively short amount of time. And so I feel like it's clear that she really isn't trying, and she is just coasting. I think that's the best case scenario here.
I'm so good. So I used to go, the full 100% of the day unhealthy, okay? So now we're doing, Princess, why is that weird? Because you didn't see my brother Jonathan, that's why. Okay, so it used to be like 100% unhealthy, right? So now I'm at half of the day. So it's been like working out actually, and I've noticed the scale moving, so that makes me really happy. Because I want to just like start super slow. Like, people gain weight in the Novembers and the Decembers, and I want to be the one not to. I want to be the one to like lose a little bit. I love steak.
Yeah, I mean, I also want that too, but I mean, I think that you don't have to just focus on losing a little bit. Like, you can lose a lot, right? It is very much so possible. And like, you just have to focus on consistency and doing the right thing time and time and time again, and not allowing yourself to treat yourself every time you make a good decision, right?
In the air fryer, I like cut it up. Oh my God, it's so fucking good. I season it while it's raw, and then I put it in the air fryer. I make Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and corn, and I like cook it all together and like saute it all together with like my preferred seasonings. I've been pretty good being healthy and cooking in the day, and then at night, like, I like to snack. Usually it's order food, and then snack. So I've taken out the order food, and I cook food, and then snack. That's definitely a positive.
That is good, right? That is a positive. That's what I like to see, and I think that's one of the best things someone can do, especially if they are someone that is ordering out a lot, is to just stop doing that and basically force yourself. Especially, again, obviously this isn't possible for everyone, especially if you have a normal job, right? But Amberlynn doesn't, right? She works from home, and so she is home all the time. So she could, she is home to cook every meal, and she can cook each meal. She doesn't even have to meal prep, right? She can cook every meal when she wants to eat it. That is a privilege that she has. And so I don't understand. I mean, I understand why she doesn't do it, because she's addicted to food, and the dopamine that she gets from ordering the food, and obviously like the stuff that is being sent to her probably for her tastes better than what she can make at home, and it requires more time and effort and stuff like that. But if like the goal is, I want to lose weight, that is the most important thing to me, that's what I want to do, the first thing I say to anyone if I'm working with them as a client is like, we need to cut the ordering out and getting DoorDash delivered and all of that stuff as much as physically possible. And if this is true, which with Amberlynn we never know, but if this is true, this is a good first step, 100%.
Change, and I definitely feel the difference for sure. I'm literally
One thing that Amberlynn never really mentions much is any sort of movement, which I understand that she is not the most mobile, and so movement for her is difficult, but like there are so many things that she could do at home. Like she could order one of those little desk things that you put under your desk and like kind of pedal. Like there are so many little things that I think that Amberlynn could do that could help her move, right? Even doing like a very simple chair fitness routine. There's tons of those on YouTube. Like that stuff isn't ever really mentioned. And while when we're talking about extreme weight loss, 200, 300 pounds of weight loss, by far the most important thing is the food. And so I'm glad that that is at least being talked about here. That is for sure the most important thing, 100%. Also, movement is so important and so helpful and would help her be more mobile. And so it's something that I wish we just never really hear about it. Maybe I feel like a few years ago it was mentioned a little bit, but now it's almost like a non, you just never ever hear about it. And I just think about like how amazing it would feel for Amber to be able to take her dog for a long walk, right? To be able to take her dog for a mile-long walk, which, I mean, that's really not even that long in my opinion. I mean, I am someone that goes on 10K runs often, so obviously it's going to be a little skewed, but like that would be so awesome. I'm sure for the dog would love that, right? And I'm sure Amberlynn would like that, to be able to explore where she lives and be able to see things and instead of just kind of going from car to car and then, like that stuff is really such an important part of weight loss and it just opens up your life so much more. And I'm sad that it seems that that's not even like something that Amberlynn really even talks about.
Amberlynn about food. I think I'm hungry. Literally so hungry. Yeah, I'm hungry. Canned green beans aren't good for you. I
like canned green beans.
I think I disagree with that. You are so soft.
So that's really kind of the only thing that was of interest to me as far as this whole live stream was concerned. I thought that it was interesting to hear her at least talk a little bit about the nutrition and the weight loss or gain or whatever is going on right now, because obviously that's kind of how I got sucked into this whole thing, was trying to help her lose weight. And it doesn't seem like anything has really worked so far, but I am someone that I want to see this work for anyone we talk about Hungry Fat Chick, we talk about Amberlynn. Those are the two, we talk about like glitter and lasers. The last video I made on her was more positive than it was negative in my opinion, because I want to see people succeed regardless of what I say in the videos, right? Like, or regardless of if I disagree with them on certain things. Like the reason I'm talking about this is because I want to see her succeed. And then obviously the thing that I understand the most is that there are a lot of people that are watching these videos that are maybe not in the same exact position that Amberlynn is in, but maybe they want to lose a little bit of weight. And so obviously I hope that the advice that I give to Amberlynn, I doubt that she's listening to it, can be taken by someone else that might be watching the video, right? They might be like, you know what, I can adopt that thing and I can try doing that. But that's everything that I wanted to go over with everything that's been going on. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Peace.